Good morning. 2 minutes till showtime. Ready to sing the song and get your hallelujah on? That's what we're here to do. I am so in love with my new little toy here. I'm so glad I spent that money. I mean, when you go on Amazon, these things cost $3 and you're like, cool.
Hey, 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 here's the wake up call with Reverend Horace Sheffield. Rise up, wake up, let the truth be told. The wake up call. Hey, 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 it's the wake up call with Reverend Horace Sheffield. Rise up, wake up, let the truth be told. The wake up call. Reverend Horace Sheffield. Rise up, wake up.
Okay, yes, hit that note.
You didn't know we started with praise and worship every day. Good morning, everybody. Welcome to the Wake Up Call with Horace Sheffield and friends.
It's friends today, as y'all can see.
Yes,
Okay,
yes.
We're on the corner of Grand River and Wyoming. Come in, make sure you get some breakfast. We have salmon, croquettes, grits, and what's the price on that, Ed?
Free 99.
Free 99. Yes,
It is. Welcome to the community, and you know what? We have the community here. Let me get this live audience some noise, some love. Y'all give yourself a round of applause. They said we waiting on them. We waiting on everything to happen.
Biscuits, grits, and salmon croquettes.
Amen.
Amen. So let's give a quick introduction. I'm Sabrina Athena. I'm new to the show, but I'm not new to everyone. So peace, everybody, and we're gonna go right down the line.
You can't keep saying you new.
Well, I mean,
you've been here long enough.
Okay, well, I'm a staple on the show, and y'all should know.
You see, you on this and everything now. So
I'm on the pictures,
right? You can't keep saying you new. You're the newest, but you're not new.
I'm the newest to the crew.
Yes,
and this is what I do.
Yes, I am Chantel Watkins, aka Shawnee the Hippie, aka the Diplomacy Doll, aka your girl. I love you guys.
Hey. Yes. And who we got in this corner over here?
Well, I'm Ed Collins, and I'm like that pair of old shoes that you just can't throw away.
Amen.
Okay. All right.
Yes.
This week has been incredibly busy for politics and news and all kind of interesting stuff. We continue to see what's going on in Minnesota. We're continuing to track our amendment rights and a lot of other things. What have you guys been up to this week?
I'm really disappointed at the arrest of like Don Lemon because of everything that he was covering. And it's really crazy to me to see like the federal regime acting, and a lot of people keep calling it Nazi Germany, but we can't accredit what's happening to other countries. This is Jim Crow. Like, this is what we're witnessing, and they have targeted a wider group of people, because we can't pretend that they're still not targeting Black people, because they are. And there are plenty of immigrants in the African diaspora as well. They're targeting Haitians, they're targeting Caribbeans, Jamaicans, all different types of stuff too. And I know a lot of us want to feel like it's not happening right here in Michigan, but literally I watched this video of this guy. He's an Amazon driver, and his territory is mainly Dearborn and Dearborn Heights. And somebody caught him in the Ring camera just complaining. He was like, oh my God, because people are scared to leave the house. I got to work more. My routes are bigger. These packages are bigger. I got to deliver toilet paper, all this stuff, because people are afraid. But it's so crazy because I was literally driving through Dearborn and I saw ICE agents, faces covered up,
Yeah.
like literally arresting people and like kids sitting on the side of the road.
This is not fictitious. This is not fabricated. This is not the boogeyman. This is a real life situation that us as Americans are having to figure out how to navigate and endure. And I posted, I think it was this week. I posted a stitch of Dr. Jamal Bryant that
you
he
did.
came in,
Mhm.
and he let us know, I'm not confident that you'll come home if you go out in these streets right now. We have to attack it with our voice, and our voice is our what?
Weapon.
And
It's our
vote.
power.
And our vote.
And
And
our
our
vote.
vote. These are not people that we elected into office that are committing these crimes.
Mhm.
I mean, the generally, yes, absolutely. The one that had been elected and that Cheeto man is a different story.
Mhm.
But these ICE agents are federal agents, and that's a problem. And that's a big problem.
It's so crazy that I literally have it in my pocket. I carry around my passport because a lot of people tell me all the time like that, you know, they'll ask me like, oh, are you Latina and blah, blah, blah. And it's gotten to the point where I now carry around my passport because I'm nervous. And it's like really crazy to like endure that. But like also what I do want to shout out is Mary Waters this week. Put out an ordinance. We got to clap it up for our city councilwoman, Mary Waters, because your vote does matter. She put an ordinance on the floor to ban masked officers in the city of Detroit. So now officers cannot wear masks in the city of Detroit. No matter federal agents, local police, anything, you have to be able to identify them. And that's why our vote matters, because Mary Waters didn't have to do that in this city and go out and do that. And our mayor even put out a statement
She
too.
sure did.
And most mayors don't do that because it can create you as a target. And it's really awesome to know that the people we elected, at least in the city of Detroit, are allies.
So our voice is working for us in our neighborhoods in the way that we want to be represented. So that's incredible. And I'm excited not to be in, because fear and excitement have the same hormone. People don't know this. Fear and excitement. You can make a choice to jump off a cliff in the water and be excited or very afraid. And what we can know about this is that this is a fear-mongering campaign, and we can be prepared and understand what to do in case of XYZ. So that's why the wake-up call is so important, because we have these conversations and we're not going to shy away from it.
Amen.
We don't do that. We got to tell our people what to do. Isn't that right, Ed?
Well, you're absolutely correct. But to piggyback off your fear, I spent the week giving my grandchild driving lessons.
Oh, geez.
So
he said, speaking of fear.
Right. Well, you know, you're really proud of them, but you got to be not show that you're nervous, because that makes them nervous.
That's true.
And she did pretty good. She had a few hiccups, and like trying to play some music while she's driving. So that's a no-no.
Not
that's
yet.
Distracted driving.
Yeah.
You know, you have to pay attention to what I'm saying and what you're doing.
Yeah.
Because these young people don't know nothing about looking at no signs. The signs will tell you what's going on before you get there.
Yeah.
We got to be responsible for our youth out here.
There you go.
Thank you, Ed.
And because that's our future.
That is our future.
You know what I mean? So not just with driving, but we have to teach them about their interest in being interested in politics and what's going on around them. Don't take it for granted.
Well, thank God for intergenerational conversation. We are so glad for it, and we're glad that you're here yet again. And speaking of the future, let's get these announcements off right quick.
All right.
Let's do it. And if you feel like calling in, we do have a number. It's 313-340-9507. Go ahead, girl. This is
Oh, yes. Today we have our food giveaway at the Bridge Center. That's 9928 Grand River. It is from 11 a.m. to 2 p.m. We have free groceries provided. We got some of the food yesterday, y'all. We got corn and fresh pineapples and all types of stuff. So make sure that y'all come through today, 11 a.m. to 2 p.m. That's 9928 Grand River.
Excellent. What we got next? Where pain meets God's purpose. Grief purpose, a grief group session. Now, this is important. Somewhere to come together and speak as companions and peers. This is going to be Tuesday, February 17th from 6 to 7. It's free admission, and it's going to be at let's see here. It's going to be right
Grand River.
1200 Grand River. And that is with the Well of Wellness Guidance Center in partnership with New Destiny Fellowship, Christian Fellowship.
Yep. So get checked, get prepared, and get paid. This is Mason in the Morning with Angie Starr on 105.9 KISS FM. They'll be here Wednesday, February 25th from 6 a.m. to 10 a.m. right here at the Daybo Detroit. That's 12048 Grand River. You can go to school tuition free. We'll help you find jobs and job training. You can get the free blueprint for wellness screening, blood pressure screenings, HIV testing, and of course, we always got a free hot breakfast.
We're going to feed you. All right. So let's see here. We got Concert of Colors in Dabo proudly presenting Russell Tompkins and the new Stylistics. Not the old ones, the new ones.
Wow.
That's that new thing. With opening performance by Isis DeMille. That's going to be Wednesday, February 25th, 7 p.m. And please, free tickets are available at dabodetroitinc.com/events. If you're going to come, come. If not, tell us you ain't coming. They're making a whole system for people who don't come when they RSVP. So please make sure you
you will be banned.
Yeah, it might happen. I'm just speaking from what I heard Rev say.
Yes, and then we also have Dabo Detroit's Community Entertainment Series. This is March 11th, 9928 Grand River. You can also RSVP at dabodetroitinc.com/events. And we have Bruiser Wolf from 7 p.m. to 9 p.m. He is a part of the Bruiser Crew, which is a big Detroit rap crew. And he's also a member of New Destiny Fellowship. So, yes, he go to church with us. He's doing this for free, and he bringing his Bruiser Crew.
Excellent. Let's see. We got the pastoral and church anniversary honoring our church and pastor, Reverend Horace L. Sheffield III. That's going to be at the Bridge Center. And our special guest is going to be who else? Dr. Jamal Bryant. You see him, you know who we talking about. So they're going to be acknowledging and celebrating God's amazing grace. That's going to be March 18th. That's a Wednesday. And service begins at 7:00 p.m.
Ooh, girl, this is a little dark.
And this is a good segue right here.
Oh, yes, a great segue because we have our girl Monet McClendon. She's also a member of New Destiny. Okay, yes. And she has trap therapy. I can't read that. It's too dark. Tell us all about it.
It is hard conversations, real healing, and a safe space. So we're going to have a mental health panel of 2 therapists, a mental health nurse practitioner, and an advocate who's going to come out, join the panel, have some hard conversations about trauma, breaking generational curses. We're going to open it up to the congregation and allow them to ask some questions. If you have a question for a nurse practitioner or a therapist, we're going to have those hard conversations, but we also going to incorporate a little bit of music because that is therapy as well. So the goal of this is to make therapy non-traditional.
Yeah. Absolutely. And here we are with a non-traditional opportunity to speak to people in their wellness. Welcome, sis. So if you guys are just joining us, this is Monet McClendon. She is the founder of Insightful Thoughts Counseling, and that is her event that we're going to be talking about today, Saturday, March 28th from 6 to 9 p.m. And donations are appreciated, which then makes this a what event?
It's a mental health wellness.
Is it free?
It is free.
It's
It is free.
But
go on
donate.
Eventbrite and you can come for free.
Absolutely. That's that. Now, see, that in itself, co-pays be $200 just to show up. You know what I'm saying? Like, if y'all don't know the
for the intake appointment.
Hello.
All right.
And you gotta pay it up front. So let's not
$240 to be exact.
See, she knows. She can get that money. Okay. So first and foremost, I want to know what has really compelled you to come into this service calling, because mental health and therapy in and of itself not only requires you to be present for that other person, but you got to be present for yourself. You have to really know how to come in guarded and ready to have a conversation open enough for that person to feel safe and wanting to heal with you. So what puts you in this position to feel that way?
Honestly, person in this environment and family, seeing the trials and tribulations that I've seen a lot of family members go through, whether if it was going through the juvenile justice center system, and just wanting to know from a little girl standpoint, why do people behave and react to our environment the way that they do? And it sparked something in me. It caused me to want to chase and see how I can help and figure out what is wrong.
What's wrong?
Our environment. We are a product of our environment. And sometimes we just don't have the resources, the knowledge to know what to do to be better. But everything in our environment plays a role, from our food, how our parents are raised and how they raise us, the violence, social media, the desensitization, all that play a role in how we respond and how we think and how we feel. And sometimes we don't have control over that.
But you know what? And going along with that, to increase somebody's self-worth and help them with their mental health, if we create more entrepreneurs within our communities or businesses, and that right there will lead to success, and we have better role models for our kids. Mm-hmm. See, right now, their role models are drug dealers, rappers, things that have a negative influence on your community.
Well, I think we're getting out of that phase, thank God.
Well, this is what I'm saying, but we need to create our own businesses within our communities.
Now, Mary Sheffield has definitely promised the city of Detroit that this is going to be the place that people want to move to start their business. That is exactly what we talk about. So we're moving out of it.
Okay, but I'm not saying it's not going to happen, but this is what we need. And that right there leads to better mental health, because now the kids will believe that they don't have to do something out of the norm or out of their basic beliefs to succeed.
Excellent. What we got next, Shante?
Yes. So you've been coming through like a power force. Okay. You've definitely come through to the Dabo community really strong, honestly. And it's really helpful. A lot of us, I really like the quote that Rev said. He said, yeah, we're going to pray about it, but we got to do something about it as well. Yeah. So how do you tie faith and mental health? Because there are a lot of people who have a stigma that's like, oh, let's pray the depression away. But we know that to not be true. Mm-hmm. So you're obviously stepping into this work and creating a mental health ministry for a lot of us to enjoy. How have you tied your faith and your profession to help everybody?
I think they go hand in hand, because we also, even though we know that that's not true, sometimes some people need more, even outside of therapy. Sometimes they need, that's why I have a nurse practitioner coming on the panel, because sometimes it's out of my hands that they need something even more. But sometimes all you have is your faith. Sometimes it's nothing. And I had to learn that that's a lot of pressure being a therapist. You always worried about saying the right thing. And I had to realize that's when ministry came into play. Sometimes it's nothing I can say. It's just being a presence, but all they have is their faith. When you're talking about individuals who come into you related to like grief, and their baby was taken away from them, or their mom, it's nothing that you could say that's really going to heal that pain, but they just need a presence. But faith is what's going to get them through, and them needing that reminder, because sometimes those type of situations is what make them run away from faith and then think that it's no support. And they just need that reminder at times. And that's my job, to help walk them through that.
Now, do you include individual, group, or couple therapy? And if so, what's necessary for a person to participate?
I do individualized therapy. I do group. I'll be a part of the wellness center doing the group sessions there. And I do couples as well. What qualifies them is the desire to want to do it.
Amen.
The willpower, and them just taking the first steps and reaching out. And then I guide them through the process of getting their insurance or whatever needs to be done. Sometimes I have people who don't even have insurance, and we talk about what that looks like. Sometimes I provide a free service, and or a spend down amount. So it just depends. But the first step and what qualifies you is the willpower to want to do the work.
And that's a big deal. Going to the doctor, and let's just use it as a doctor scenario that most people are familiar with. Let's talk about, the body outside doctor to say, oh, okay, well, I'm going to come in here and you tell me not to eat so much salt. I'm going to the fried chicken joint right after this. That's not compliance. That's not ready. You're not ready to actually take that information and use it to help heal yourself. How do you handle those kind of clients?
I'm transparent from the first session. I am not a miracle worker. I am not God. I cannot change your situation, and that's not my job. What my job is to do is to pull the things out of you that you may not see. It's your journey. So what you want, what you put into it is what you get out of it. And I help guide you through it. So I can't wave a magic wand and say, you know what? The depression is gone, but I could provide you with some tools because that's be transparent. Life is gonna life.
Yeah.
It's going, these things are going to happen, but it's all about the tools that you have in your back pocket when those things happen. Me being a therapist, it happens to me as well.
Yeah.
But utilizing those tools to say, you know what? maybe I know one thing that get me together. Let me go get my hair done. Let me do some
Amen.
self-care.
Something nice
Let
for
me,
yourself.
or I just push myself through the day and feel good, or go to the gym. Something that you have to think, and that's my job, to help you think outside of the box and say, what are the things that maybe soothe you or that comfort you, or we could utilize it in these type of situations.
Yeah, I'm having all these like
Thoughts.
fun, flashy thoughts in my head about my own personal. I go to therapy, and acceptance about, I live in Detroit. It's cold outside. You might
Yeah.
want to put on a coat. That's life.
Yeah.
That's life. I wish it wasn't this cold. I wish people weren't outside freezing to death. I wish all the animals had shelter. But life tells us that that's not always the case. So how do we embrace, right?
What the reality is.
Exactly.
Absolutely.
And how do you embrace people's budgets? You just mentioned you just mentioned having a sliding scale, and you're one woman. God bless you. This is a bigger issue than just you.
Absolutely.
And there's many of you, and some of the yous in the world are not as accepting or organized.
Accessible.
Right, accessible. So how do you deal with the lack of accessibility in finance, or even just in care? Like how is that being addressed within your field?
Seeing the fact that I'm a social worker as well, I'm probably a little more I'm not as stringent when it comes to that, but I do, we all work together. So I try my best to, if I can't do it or offer the resources, but I am learning too that sometimes it's just not a good fit. And that's something, learning those boundaries within myself, that's something I'm working on. But what I do, and I have a duty to do, is to provide them with some resources. So I have a team of therapists that I work with as well. Maybe one of them may be a good fit and willing to offer the service, or it's an abundance amount of resources, that we can reach out to and provide and figure out what works best.
That's amazing. I do want to also give a shout out to somebody in the audience who provides tons of resources and helps a lot of people. Brother Cunningham is here, and he's the king of public transportation in Metro Detroit. I want everybody to give him a hand. When we talk about resources and the things that people do, Brother Cunningham is really that guy. So Monet, you are doing such a great job to not only like bridge the gap between therapy and like spirituality, but also we do know that, Black people historically have not had the liberty to talk about their mental health. So how do you break that barrier down? Because, we as a race, we've gone through a lot. And if I talk to my grandma about therapy back in the day, she probably would have been like, girl, what?
Yeah.
But like now, so many people have had the opportunity to learn that their mental health is there. So how have you helped other people in their families break down that generational barrier?
Education, psychoeducation. So I'm going to say that's what trap therapy is about. Bringing out understanding too that it doesn't have to look the same. And sometimes, like this event, the conversations that we will have will also, it might shine a light bulb. You might bring your homegirl, and it might shine a light bulb that she's been having some intrusive thoughts, and maybe I do need some support, or I didn't look at it as though it's a generational curse, or I didn't know my mom actually has an alcoholism problem. It becomes such a norm in our community that we don't even realize that it's an issue.
Yeah.
Until you get the education.
Yeah.
And then also I do a lot of therapy with family therapy, and changing the dynamics and getting the parents to understand the reality of what today is, that just because what was done in the past don't make it necessarily right for today. And our children, thinking about what you said, our children are a little more emotionally equipped than we were. They want to go to therapy. They're open to it. It's not taboo for them. But the parents are having a hard time. Why you need a therapist? What's wrong with you? And just educating them and providing them with the skill set to understand and how to communicate and how to listen and how to be empathetic. The skills that a lot of us wasn't taught, because what goes on in this house stays in this house.
Yeah.
And that's not, it's a new
Thank
time.
God for healing in new times. We do actually have a question from the audience.
Hi, my name is Melanie, and I want to commend you on the work that you're doing, because we
Thank
really
you.
need this. The other thing, we have mentally people today who are drug users, and we need help. Like, it's a lot of people around here. I help them.
Okay.
Try to get them in rehab. Try to get them go for mental health training. We need somebody in this area, or they can do an outreach program. Do you do outreach?
I'm here. I have not done a outreach, but I know that that is a vision for Pastor Sheffield, and I'm gonna help execute it.
All right. That's what we
Yes,
need.
yes, yes.
Yes.
Literally, she, and I just want to make a point here. This woman Mel came up, and she's a regular. Thank you for coming through. She served in the community, and she had an opportunity to step up here with the microphone, ask a question directly, and ask to say, "We need your help here."
Yes.
And you were able to say, "Good, I'm here."
Yes.
Mhm.
This
Hello.
is exactly what Devo's about. We love that.
Absolutely.
And because everybody needs to know that this is a service, the group therapy sessions that are starting and everything. This is a free service. You know, everything at Devo be free.
Yes.
So if you need to start coming to these sessions, even if you just want to explore what therapy is and just see if it's something that you need, this is a great opportunity without having to spend what we were just talking about, that $240 for your intake appointment or something. You could really come and explore and dive deeper into those things, because we all know life ain't been easy for none of us. You know, we talk about these things all the time, but part of expanding our community and being caring to ourselves is stepping in and stepping up. And if you need somebody to go with you, you always with your friends here. So
Okay.
y'all come together.
Don't ever feel you like you alone. Life for me ain't been no crystal stair. What you got, Ed? What you got?
Well, I'm gonna just say this. Some of us are in a situation now that it's either therapy or jail.
That's true.
So
Get your mind right.
if you want to be free, come get this free work.
Free
Mental
therapy.
work.
We-
That's
we-
right, some therapy.
Liberate
ain't gonna
yourself.
hurt you. At least give it a try, because the alternative is
Mhm.
going down the road that you really don't want to go down.
Mhm.
Absolutely.
And a group sessions to me is magical within itself. It's one thing to get individualized services, but then to be around individuals who share common interests, it's a
Exactly.
fellowship, and you don't have to feel like you're going through it alone.
Yeah,
Yeah.
you're not the only one out there with some problems.
Mhm.
That's
And
true.
That's very real.
That's true.
Mhm.
So let's talk about what a client can expect during a typical therapy session. Like what is, like, from the time I knock on the door, is there a sign that says I'm your therapist? Is it discreet? How's it go?
Well, I normally do telehealth services, so we log on a screen, and I introduce myself. I allow them to introduce themselves, and it depends. Sometimes it's crying for 45 minutes. Sometimes it's prayer. Sometimes it's talk therapy where you tell me about your day and then that spiral into something else. Or sometimes it's just us going back and forth. Sometimes it's just us getting to know one another.
Mhm.
So it depends. It totally depends on the client. It depends on the need and the mood for the day. Because sometimes it don't have to be so heavy. And
Yeah.
every client can't handle that. That could
Yeah.
send them backwards. So sometimes it's light days, and sometimes it's that real hard healing where I'm asking some deep questions and we expanding on that and giving them homework assignments. I love to get homework.
Nice.
Look, every good therapist does. Okay, every good therapist does.
Yeah.
Can you tell everybody the difference between a therapist and a psychologist?
Yes,
Mhm.
a therapist. We provide psychoeducation. A psychologist we also diagnose as a therapist, but a psychologist, outside of the diagnosing, they provide the medications and they manage your medications. So that's how we coexist together.
Mhm.
But every client doesn't need a
Medication,
psychiatrist
yeah.
or
Mhm.
medication, or have that management that's needed. So that's the difference between a therapist and a
Okay.
psychiatrist.
So let's hear about this trap therapy session. It almost sounds like, we're gonna sit around and watch Power. Like, how does this all and talk about it? Like, what does that look like? And come closer to your mic, almost
Okay.
like like
Oh, okay.
yeah, there you go.
Trap therapy is going to be a panel. We're going to talk about some conversations as such as the trauma. We're going to have Raw but Real podcast there, and they are live. So I'm gonna let them guide the conversations. So it's a little more raw. I don't want it to be the traditional panel conversations where I'm giving you a textbook response. No, that's how the real conversation. Why did my mama beat me?
Mhm.
Why did she not like me because I look like my daddy? That's how those type of conversations. So we're going to talk about it from a standpoint of a professional standpoint. But then we're also going to open up to the, like we just did, open up to everybody to come up and ask some questions and get direct response. Now it's not therapy.
Right.
Okay.
But you are having the conversations with professionals who do provide therapy. So we're able to kind of give you a viewpoint, but in a more relaxed setting. So we're gonna have a little fun, and then incorporating also, like I said, the trap part of it is the fact that it doesn't have to be sound bowls of music that incorporate. No, therapy is, remember when your mama used to clean up and she playing Mary J. Blige, Fix My Life? That's therapy for some people, where they're getting a message and it's touching their soul and it's calming them. So I want to introduce that to the community, because sometimes people feel like therapy, that's not for me.
I like your shirt. It says Sis Therapy Heals.
That's right.
So go ahead and give us one more good time, your information, how we can reach you, what we can do to follow up and get more information about your therapy services and the free therapy services with Devo that you're offering as well.
Yes. So you can reach me on any social media site by my name, Monet McLendon. My website is there. Linktree is there, where you can fill out a form. I'll reach out to you. We could do a free consultation. I'm also on Psychology Today, so you will also put my name in there. You can reach me at 313-900-5461 if you need to call. My email address is McLendon, McLendon, Monet, Monet @gmail.com. So you can send me an email. And you also have the autonomy to show up for.
Okay, we got to go right to break. I'm so
All
sorry.
right.
All right, guys, be back.
You've been listening to
All right, let's take a quick break.
Here's the wake up call with Reverend Horace Sheffield. Rise up, wake up, let the truth be told. The wake up call.
This is Super Bowl champion Lomas Brown, and I get my Saturday morning wake-up call from Reverend Horace Sheffield, my man.
This is Groveland Kings, and I get my wake-up call from Reverend Horace Sheffield every Saturday morning, 8 a.m. to 10 a.m. on 101.5 FM or 1500 a.m., the wake-up call with the Reverend Horace Sheffield.
Yo, what's up, guys? It's your girl, Randy Rosario, comedian and TV host. I get my Saturday wake-up call with my guy, Reverend Horace Sheffield. Think about it. Good day.
I'm Sheriff Raphael Washington, Wayne County, and I get my Saturday morning wake-up every Saturday morning from Reverend Horace Sheffield, and you should too.
Every Saturday morning, 8 a.m. to 10 a.m. on 101.5 FM or 1500 a.m., the wake-up call with the Reverend Horace Sheffield.
This is Super Bowl champion Lomas Brown, and I get my Saturday morning wake-up call from Reverend Horace Sheffield, my man.
This is Groveland Kings, and I get my wake-up call from Reverend Horace Sheffield every Saturday morning, 8 a.m. to 10 a.m. on 101.5 FM or 1500 a.m., the wake-up call with the Reverend Horace Sheffield.
Hello, everybody. This is your girl, Erica Alexander, and every Saturday morning, I get my wake-up call with Reverend Sheffield. Make sure you go on and get some of that. All right? What is that? Is that someone called? Is it Saturday?
Every Saturday morning, 8 a.m. to 10 a.m. on 101.5 FM or 1500 a.m., the wake-up call with the Reverend Horace Sheffield.
Hey, what's up, y'all? It's your man Mike Epps, and I get my Saturday morning wake-up call from Reverend Sheffield. Make sure you get yours.
I'm Hester Wheeler, and I get my Saturday morning wake-up call from Reverend Horace Sheffield.
Every Saturday morning, 8 a.m. to 10 a.m. on 101.5 FM or 1500 a.m., the wake-up call with the Reverend Horace Sheffield.
You've been listening to Here's the wake up call with Reverend Horace Sheffield. Right. Let the truth be told. The wake up call.
Good morning, everybody. It is the wake up call with Reverend Horace Sheffield and friends. As you can see, it is your friend right now. I got my girl Sabrina Athena and Ed Collins, aka Ed Lover. We just had Monet McClendon on, who told us some really wonderful things. And I hope that everybody, especially in the wintertime, we are all vitamin D deficient, and it's cloudy and cold over here, that we're putting our mental health first. So we also have another, I love all the Black women who are doing amazing things in our community. We have Dr. Tony Welch, founder of Silent Heart Organization. And y'all, you should have seen how fly she came in this morning if you're not watching live, okay? She's fly. So
thank you.
Thanks for coming in. How you doing?
I'm doing well. How are you? And thank everybody for having me.
Yes. You want to start off, Sabrina?
Absolutely. Welcome, Madam Welsh. We're happy to have you. So let's talk about your background and how you founded, because funding is a whole nother conversation. Founded the Silent Heart Organization. You spell silent with the L.
I spell it with
Y-L.
the Y.
The
Yeah.
Y-L. Okay.
And I spell it like that. So you can ask me why.
Exactly.
What made me start this organization?
Exactly.
Yeah. I mean, it's kind of like okay. It's like a story. I don't know if everyone in here know my background. I ended up being incarcerated. I was with one of the largest drug organizations in history. It's called BMF, Black Mafia Family. And while incarcerated, I noticed how many women that I was surrounded with didn't have access to their children. And, being me, I was fortunate enough when I did through my prison time, my children were older. So they were able to drive there and they were able to have resources. So I noticed my roommates, my cohorts, everyone around me, they wasn't that fortunate. And I was like, when I come home, I'm gonna make sure that I do something to help these kids, help the kids of people that are incarcerated, because they're out there with no support system, a lot of them. So
it's a different world.
It is
on the other side, and not for nothing, the military is a different world. We are living in parallel universes, and inside of those chambers,
yes,
you had an opportunity, unfortunate, but an opportunity to be inspired to support what's happening in an impactful way.
Right.
So we still don't know what the YL is about.
Well, the YL is because it's a silent epidemic. And so I thought people would ask me why. And it came about because nobody talked about it. When I was incarcerated, I came home in 2012 and I did my time from 2008. And I noticed that my kids, they were young adults, but they didn't want to talk about their mother, where their parents were at. And I noticed talking to other people, the young children didn't want to talk about it. So I said, it's silent. So when people ask, that's why, because I wanted them to ask me why. And that's the reason why, because kids are scared to talk about.
You have a very, very interesting story. And to a lot of people, it's inspiration because some people end up back locked up or not knowing what to do after what has happened. And you've taken the opportunity. You've been an executive producer and cast member on Notorious Queens, the most watched episode of American Gangster, where it featured your story. You have several awards that you've received over your career. What inspired you to tell your story? Because some people use it, might feel ashamed or anything like that, but you've used your story to create a powerful narrative and to tell people so they don't go through it. So why did you choose that path? And how do you feel about the difference you're making?
I chose that path because I felt like so many women needed to hear my voice. So many women are ashamed. I'm also advocate for domestic violence. I was affected by domestic violence. So I wanted to talk to women that were ashamed. I opened up in prison. I never talked about my life. I always lived like in the world I was in. I always lived like you had to be quiet about what was going on. And I noticed there that I was no different from any other woman. They just didn't know how to express it. So I felt like if I expressed it, somebody like me, somebody that they look up to, somebody that they think It was a think that had it all together.
It's always a persona.
Yeah, it's always a
know?
persona. They looking at you, you in the streets, you this woman, you got to be strong and powerful. But it is also a lot of insecurities,
Oh, yeah.
a lot of things that was going on. So once I fell out of that insecurity and felt, start building myself up, I said, I'm going to start sharing my story because people needed to hear from me and people wanted to hear from me. And so I said, you know what? And once my mother used to always tell me, you're going to be on television. I'm like, no, I'm in the streets. I'm going to be on television.
I can't be on television.
I can't be on television.
Right.
But she had foreseen it. And so once she passed, I thought it's now time to tell my story. And I started from there. And I stop crying about it, stop being ashamed of it. And once I start, the shame was gone, the regret was gone, that it was time to start sharing it with other women to help other women, help other people, women, kids, men, anybody that this story needs to be heard.
Okay.
Absolutely.
And because we're on the air and we don't have enough time as far as left like you would a movie, could you be as blunt as you can and realizing that we can't be absolutely raw because that's the way the street is? Dissuade or discourage young people from following the path that you follow?
I would tell kids and young people, and I do work with young kids now at risk, that don't follow that path. It's not very few. I'm very fortunate. I'm very blessed. And God has been so good to me that we don't always make it out. And right now you see so many young kids that's going to prison and getting life in 30 years. They think it's easy. We made it look so fascinating and it's not. So I'm like, lead a better life because it's not a great ending. It's not many people that make it. It's death, prison, or very few that make it. It's a revolving door.
Yeah.
And I was very fortunate.
Yeah.
I'm going to piggyback on what you just said because when you live in the streets, you become the streets. There are a whole lot of homeless young people that thought they had it going on when they were young. And, that reality, when it really sets in and you're not on top of the world, there's always a bottom to a top.
Yeah, absolutely. It's a full circle.
And I'm really appreciative that you're out here telling your story because a lot of times when we've gone through some things like that, they can be traumatic too. We don't want to express them out loud.
Yeah.
We want to be the person we've become and not the person that we were.
Right.
So it's
That's
very
true.
important for people to listen to someone like you to possibly learn the lessons that you've already learned to keep from going down the path that you went.
Yeah. And
Yes.
and
Let's give her a round of applause real
Really,
quick,
really.
y'all. We really definitely need that.
For sure. And I mean, you're advocating for prison reform and women empowerment and youth mentorship. I want to know some of those success stories. We talked about how many people don't always, don't come across that success threshold. How do you feel like your voice and your mission has impacted people?
I see the people. I can't reach everybody, but I have seen some of the women that I have, mentored that have made it out and have, started on a path to be great, to build themselves up. And so that way I feel like, okay, I did my job. I did my mission. I did what I was supposed to do. God's always talking to me. And he was like, I don't saved you from a lot. Now, you got to save somebody, so I go out there and do what I can.
Yeah.
And, and I feel good about that. That's my success. It's not about the television and everything else that I've done. It's about when I can see myself, somebody I can, come back, run back into them and then, or they write me and say, just because of you, your words helped me get through it.
Excellent.
Amazing.
Excellent. So we do have a question from the audience.
It's more like a statement. I like to thank Tony because we suffered domestic violence at the hands of the same person.
Whoa.
She told my story, and now I can be proud about my story because she told my story word for word. She's been through it. She understands. I love you, sister.
Love you, sister.
This is so
it is
amazing.
just too much out here for women to have to deal with this and not have a person to say, hey, this happened to me. Stop this. It has to end somewhere. And with my story. She ended it for me, and I'm so proud of you.
Wow.
sis. That's
And I
incredible.
just want to piggyback off of that a little bit. When me and Catherine was going through it, it wasn't no help out there. Excuse me, people. I end up stabbing my abuser, and I end up in the county jail. And the women and even the prison guards were like, like really bashing me. Oh, you gonna go to prison and stuff like that. But it was no other way out for me. And now I see so many people advocating for these women, and it's still like, we still got a lot more work to do. We still got to get on these people.
It's definitely still a tough road.
It's a tough road, and
But
women
by
are
all
losing
means.
their lives daily.
But you know what? Especially you guys talking about like it being from the same person, right? A lot of times we don't realize how much we need to be there for each other, especially when you're in a situation. It can create division, there's all these things. So to hear that inspiring story right here, one of our Dabo community members even got the Dabo hoodie on.
Yep.
It shows the impact, and the way that you just spoke and said, you real humble, but you've had all these great experiences on TV and all these things, but you said it's the people that you helped, and I really felt that in this moment. You hear how silent the room is, how that really helped. And when it comes to domestic violence, like we were just talking about mental health, it is a very taboo issue for people.
It is.
So how
Yeah.
do you help people feel more comfortable to talk about it so that they can work their way out of it?
It's really a lot of shame, because what people don't understand is why they stay in the situations. And the thing is we're something deep down in us. We have been dealt with trauma in our younger years, and we feel so, and the insecurity's not there, and we scared. We build families, and we scared to lead. And you can see it happening all the time. And I tell people, just take that step. Just please take that step, and I promise you'll be okay. Give all the faith you have in God, and just keep talking to yourself, keep building yourself, keep saying every day, I can make it, I can do this. And there's so many places of help right now. There's so many organizations that will help. When me and her was going through, we could barely find anyone to help. Probation, I went to his probation officer, and it was like, well, work it out. No, you're supposed to put him back in prison,
Right.
but it wasn't there. It was I don't know. I guess people then didn't believe it, where you stand in it, so you must like it. And it's not that.
Like, you can't allow yourself to gaslight yourself. You know what I'm saying? Like, does this really hurt? Am I really?
And you right? Are you really?
You ain't crazy,
Yeah,
boo.
nah.
It's really not you. It is something and someone else doing something to you. And that's such a hard, and even in today's society and conversations, we have so many different types of abusers. There can be financial abuse, there can be emotional abuse, there can be there's a whole
line.
litany of ways that you can be abused and not even recognize how that affects your behavior moving forward.
Right.
So I got a question about your calling to speak for those who cannot speak for themselves. I know that's a part of my calling. It's something I got in high school. Like, what am I supposed to be doing?
Right.
When did you realize that, and how does that play a part in your everyday work? Because again, we had no idea.
I have to be really honest, and I tell people this all the time. I didn't know what I was supposed to do. I jumped into the street world when I was 19 years old, so my gifts came later on. But during my walk in prison, I asked God. I said, I know it's something else I'm supposed to be doing. I can't sing, I can't dance, no instruments. What is my gift? And it just came to me working in a prison chapel that, you survived all this to serve. You have to serve.
Absolutely.
And that's where it came from, because there I found my strength. I found out who I was. And it's not an easy journey. People want microwavable lives and think it's going to be quick.
Oh, that's a word.
Instant gratification is a cancer in itself.
Yeah, but it's not. You're going to have a lot of pitfalls. You're going to fall a lot, but you just don't stay there. And I tell people that. And I tell my young girls, like yesterday, they didn't pass their test to get in certain schools. Maybe that wasn't meant for you, but don't stay there. Don't rot in that. Don't let that eat you up. Keep moving, keep going, keep pushing. And I promise you'll find your gift.
Don't allow that Cass King Renaissance test to be an indictment.
And
I ain't get it either.
You're
Okay.
Yes. So you're about to release a much anticipated autobiography. Look at how she smiled about
Immediately.
that.
She started. She got rosy.
Yes. So tell us a little bit about the book and how people will be able to purchase it.
Okay, and I'm so proud. You figure like when a parent goes to prison, one of your offsprings end up in prison. My oldest ended up in prison with me, but then I had two other sons, and my youngest one ended up going to college, making it, and he wanted to be a creative writer. So I tried to. At first, I hired writers, and it didn't work. And he was like, I wrote a proposal. I wrote your book. Didn't even tell me.
Mm.
And I said, really? And he gave it to me. I read it. I gave it to my agent, and he got six
Offers,
offers.
six publishing offers. Wow.
So that makes me proud that you know
Yes.
that.
Six
And so
offers
yeah,
off of
and it
one
was
manuscript.
one manuscript, and it was so people wanted me to write my book when I was in prison or when I first came home. I said, what am I gonna write about? That I was this drug dealer in the streets and now I'm sitting on the sofa. I said, it's not time yet. That's not time yet. When I finish my mission and I think I've built enough in my mission and I've done enough things in my community and for my people and for myself, then I'll write my book. And then it was time. So I'm really, all the things I did, I'm really proud of my book. But my book can be found at local bookstores around the city of Michigan and other states. It's also Barnes and Noble is my leading bookseller, which is wait, I was in there manifesting that. I was sitting in that bookstore like my book gonna go right there. It's gonna be right there.
Listen, tell the steps to manifestation because
just
I mean, just to think about like someone who wasn't even interested, you're like, I'm not interested in even using my voice this way because again, conviction. You convicted. You have to do what God tells you to, and if you don't,
baby.
Okay. So actually standing in Barnes and Noble saying, this is where my book is going to be. Let's talk about those moments.
Yeah.
Like, did you feel doubt? Did you feel nervous? Like
I felt nervous. I didn't really, because after trying with two other writers and that wasn't that wasn't the plan. The plan was that for my son to write it. I just didn't think he was ready, but he had been writing and listening to my story all along. He said, I visit you enough in prison. You don't think you talk my ear off? I know, he lived through it. That was his life. And so it was time. And me and him used to always go visit the bookstore. So after I would go in there I literally, people don't, I have pictures where I'm sitting there, just sitting, watching the moment. The people, I would sit there and say, my book is going to be on this shelf. I really wanted it to be on the Barnes and Noble. I still like brick and mortar bookstores, and it just manifested from there. I met a person who said, I like your story. I'm going to introduce you to a literary agent. And that agent pushed for me. And I'm with Kensington Books, one of the well-known book publishing companies. Kensington.
Very regal of you.
Well, a lot of people don't believe that what you did in your past led you to the place you are today. So, in your words, because you're letting us live or be a part of your past, do you have any real regrets about your past, or you feel that will put you on the path of where you are today?
First off, I tell people don't think about what people say, and it's always people gonna doubt. And I really had to gain people trust to show them like, I mean this. I mean that I'm gonna do this. I'm never going back to prison. I'm never gonna, disappoint my family like that again. It wasn't about me, it was about them. So I tell people to just keep going. And I meant what I said. I made a promise to my family. I made a promise to God. And here I am today standing. And I'm like, I really feel like I had so many, like a cat, so many different lives. I could have been out of here a lot of times, but I made it.
I'm a true believer in that because, Red talks about me and ball all the time.
Yeah, he does.
I did have the opportunity to go professional, but I didn't want to give up my own self-worth and self-respect and sell myself cheaply. See, I'm a real believer that you have to be happy with who you see in the mirror. You can't not like yourself. So you maintain a standard that's high enough that you don't go down that path. And like I have expressed in the past and not on the show, had I went and played professional, I may not be here today. But my life would have taken a different route and I wouldn't have met the same people.
Right.
So
yeah. Absolutely.
I'm just saying that we are listening to this show today, and we are being blessed to be in this place at this time in this moment.
Come on,
Because it
Ed.
may give us the opportunity. It gives us the opportunity to choose a different path.
Mm-hmm. Ed's
And
gonna
if we
remind
don't
us.
learn from someone else's experiences and utilize that, because that's knowledge that you're passing on to us,
Right. Well,
then I'm gonna call you a fool.
and-
Because
and-
if you don't
Uh-oh.
listen, no, really, if you don't listen to what God puts before you, because He puts miracles in front of us every day, it's up to us to receive them and understand them. We're here at this moment, at this time, for a reason.
Absolutely.
So take advantage of those reasons.
It reminds me of my dad.
We really appreciate you coming on the show.
I appreciate
because
you
have a
guys.
lot to offer to many of us.
Thank you.
It reminds me of my dad when I was younger. He would always say, "Now I told you exactly this, and somebody random said it to you, and you gonna listen to them.
Right.
Why you ain't listen to me?" It's
We-
like, I don't know that.
We've all done that.
We all done
Definitely.
it. And
Well,
like
so-
I said, I just wanted to piggyback. I think I missed the part of living in regret. You got to stop living in regret. You
Amen.
can't do it over
It's
again.
not a place you want to be.
Yeah, you got to make peace with yourself and just keep moving.
So-
You did it, you done it. Repent about it and just move on.
Amen.
So in your life, you've really lived a lot of lives.
I think so.
You've lived a lot of lives. Starting off in a fabulous, ghetto fabulous type of way, going into a situation where you're completely incarcerated and stripped of all your regalia,
Everything.
and then coming back out, and now you're back in a position of limelight. Like when as it pertains to going through these different phases, how did you transition and adjust to being not like the highest of the high and the lowest of the low? That's a lot of different aspects
It is
for one life.
It is, and it was shocking, especially when I first walked into prison. I've been in county jails before. I'm not going to even sit here and say, oh, I was the best kid, the best young teenager. Well, I started a little late, but the best young woman. So I've been in and out of county jails, but it was when I went to prison. I was stripped of. I felt like I was stripped of everything. Like everything that I have ever known in my life. It wasn't about the things, it was just about life. My family, my surroundings. I felt so raw and so so empty.
I'm sure that's by design.
Yeah. And I worked, and all the women kept saying I was going to work in a warehouse. And when I went to get my job, there was only one person that ever worked in a prison chapel. And I remember him telling me I was going to work in a warehouse. So I walked out of, his office really feeling down. But about time I put my hand on the knob, he said, Welch, because they call you by your last name. He said, no, you're going to work in a prison chapel.
Amen.
Ooh, look at how God will put you where
Look.
you need to be.
Mhm.
But drug dealer life is real private. I know a lot of
Yeah.
the Gen Y folks that's like, I don't mess on Instagram.
I
'cause
don't
Yeah,
know
that's
about
not
this
how
life.
Real
It's not-
G's don't move like
they
that.
didn't move like that.
And
And
now it's all public. Now
Mhm.
it's this life of information overload in your face. Like how do you balance that?
I try not to be like a hypocrite, so hypocritical about it. I can only spread the word and show people, and people still get it kind of misconstrued, like, oh, you look good, you came back looking good, but that wasn't how it came out
Right.
at all. So, and it was hard.
Yeah.
It was hard. It was a lot of days that I cried and I thought I couldn't make it. I always say, stay in the middle. Y'all know that middle lane on the freeway.
Don't let your highs get too high.
Yeah.
Don't let your
And
lows get too low.
Yep. So
Stay in your middle.
Yep. So we only have 1 minute left. So can you tell everybody how we can get in contact with you?
I'm on Facebook. My name is Tonisa Welch. I'm on Instagram, LinkedIn as Tonisa Welch. I'm on Instagram as First Lady Tonisa. Please check in and please go buy the book.
All right.
Yes,
We're
thank
gonna
you so
have a quick
much.
break, and when we come back, we'll have Madam Ombudsman and a special guest that can talk about taxes.
Thank you, guys.
All right. Thank you so much. All right.
Is that someone called? Is it Saturday?
Every Saturday morning, 8 a.m. to 10 a.m. on 101.5 FM or 1500 a.m. The Wake Up Call with the Reverend Horace Sheffield.
Hey, what's up, y'all? It's your man Mike Epps, and I get my Saturday morning wake-up call from Reverend Sheffield. Make sure you get yours.
I'm Hester Wheeler, and I get my Saturday morning wake-up call from Reverend Horace Sheffield.
Every Saturday morning, 8 a.m. to 10 a.m. on 101.5 FM or 1500 a.m. The Wake Up Call with the Reverend Horace Sheffield.
This is Super Bowl champion Lomas Brown, and I get my Saturday morning wake-up call from Reverend Horace Sheffield, my man.
This is Grover Kings, and I get my wake-up call from Reverend Horace Sheffield every Saturday morning, 8 a.m. to 10 a.m. on 101.5 FM or 1500 a.m. The Wake Up Call with the Reverend Horace Sheffield.
Yo, what's up, guys? It's your girl, Randy Rosario, comedian and TV host. I get my Saturday wake-up call with my guy, Reverend Horace Sheffield. Think about it. Good day.
I'm Sheriff Raphael Washington, Wayne County, and I get my Saturday morning wake up every Saturday morning from Reverend Horace Sheffield, and you should too.
Every Saturday morning, 8 a.m. to 10 a.m. on 101.5 FM or 1500 a.m. The Wake Up Call with the Reverend Horace Sheffield.
You've been listening to
Here's the wake up call with Reverend Horace Sheffield. Rise up, wake up, let the truth be told. The wake up call.
And ladies and gentlemen, there she goes. And my mic is on again. Hey y'all. Welcome back. We are live on YouTube. We are live on 101.5 FM and 1500 AM. And today we have
107.5.
Yeah, you see it's right there. It's 107.5. Don't let me everywhere. Don't let me slip.
And all the way live on the corner of Grand River and Wyoming.
Because you could be here with us.
This room full.
Okay.
Yes.
It's a lot of heat in here, and
They heard it was somebody's birthday.
But let me tell you who brought the heat today. Let me tell you who brought the heat today. Today we have honorary Sherry Gay Dagnago, ombudsman of the city of Detroit, and she brought a special friend with her who knows all about taxes and assessments. That's Dr. Willie Donwell, the assessor for the city of Detroit.
The director of the board of review.
Okay, period.
Yeah,
director.
let's get it all the
He
way
got
right.
a lot of board of review people in his office.
Yeah.
Right.
That's a serious office over there. So let's get right into it and talk about what the function is of the board of reviews.
All right. Well, great to be here this morning. And I want to thank Horace Sheffield for actually putting on this forum. You know, this is fantastic. What up, though, Detroit?
What up, though?
So the Board of Review is a non-member body appointed by City Council to hear property tax appeal concerns. Personally, I believe that if you own property in the state of Michigan, you should go through the process at least once to understanding how your property is valued. Ultimately, in this, because it's going to be taxed, you're going to receive that tax obligation. But this is an opportunity at the beginning of the year in which you get to find out what the assessor did in valuing that property.
Interesting. And then we also had an announcement made yesterday, wasn't it, about the way that we are standardizing our assessments now?
You know, the local assessors are required to follow a function and process that's provided to them by the State Tax Commission. But, you know, our mayor wanted to make sure that not just those processes were in place based upon state standards, but national standards. And so putting that extra effort in to make sure that properties are being assessed fairly and equally.
Excellent.
That's amazing. So what if I'm a property owner and I feel like, you know, my assessment is wrong? What steps do I take in order to correct that or find out?
So right now is that time. So between the 1st and 22nd of February, property owners have the ability to go in and talk to the assessor. They can file that appeal one of three ways. They can file it online at detroitmi.gov /property tax appeal. They
Can you say that once again?
Little
Because we
slower,
on air.
little
A little
slower.
slower.
A
for
little
us.
slower.
Yes.
Slow us down a little bit.
All right. DetroitMI.gov /property tax appeal. They can also file it in person in room 130 in the city county building there at 2 Woodward and Jefferson.
One more time. A little slower for 'em.
Yeah.
All right. 2 Woodward Avenue, Suite 130.
What can I say? Why 130? Why 130 is so important?
Tell me.
Because I was born on 130.
Period.
There it is. There it is. It's a
Room
celebration.
130.
Okay. Period.
Room 130.
That was
Somebody play
real
that.
Aquarius energy right there.
There we
Somebody
go.
play that number today. Okay.
So
Yes.
they can file their appeal in person, and then they can also do it by mail by sending it's addressed to the Office of the Assessor, Suite 804 in the City County Building, 2 Woodward Avenue, Detroit, Michigan, 48226.
My goodness, you know it all. Thank you.
Period. That's why he the director. Okay.
I got a question for you. Property values are on the upswing because of the market today. And with your property value going up, your assessment can go up also. But there are cases where your assessment is not affected by your property increasing in value. Like you're a longtime Detroit resident. Because the value of your home raises, your assessment shouldn't raise, which affects your property tax, correct?
Well, let's kind of separate it for a second.
Yeah.
There's 2 parts. There's the assessed value, which is typically 1/2 of the true cash value of the property. Then there's the taxable value. The taxable value is what is actually used to calculate your property taxes. So while your assessment can fluctuate with the market, your taxable value is locked in. It can only increase by the rate of inflation, no more than 5%.
Ooh,
This year, the CPI or Consumer Price Index is 2.7. So if from your taxable value last year, your taxable value will increase by 1.027.
My God, you're good with these numbers. I'm like,
Right.
Well, I'm going to say the real reason I asked that is because when you not complain, but when you challenge your assessment, you need to have the information necessary to do that challenge.
Mm-hmm.
So it's important, for our listening audience to have these types of facts.
Well, absolutely. That's why he's here to clear it up.
Absolutely.
Well,
but I think I didn't mean to cut you off, Director. But I think you explained to me and my chief of staff. Where's Linda Wesley in here? She's someone back here.
Period. Hey, clap it up for Linda.
Wesley.
Miss Linda's that girl, y'all.
She's that lady for
Yeah.
real.
So this was one of the first directors that Linda booked me to sit down with, and we sat down and we talked for almost 2 hours. And I recognized that house over there. That he gave me one of those too. But he gave so many nuances that people don't know, and it's not all etched in stone. And then that's the whole reason, again, for this process, because when you come before the Board of Review, like you're saying, having the facts, but I want you to shed light on some of the variances that our taxpayers can come before you all and still get exception, even when the taxes are raised.
So, and thank you, Madam Ombudsman. I want to just make a couple of points very, very clear. Number one, local assessors across the state have processes that they're required to follow. And they're going to come and they're going to look at properties from the outside. They're going to do a square footage from the perimeter of the property. They're going to look at the build and makeup and the years and the age. But do they really know what's going on inside the house?
Right.
No.
Do they really understand, is there structural issues? Are there things as it relates to this that actually could affect the value of the property? So I'm going to break it down and make it really, really simple.
Okay.
Oh, okay.
What's the usual selling price? If you have a neighborhood, you have a series of properties, what's the usual selling price? Could you sell your property for that usual selling price? And are those deficiencies in your property, would it take away from that usual selling price? So let's keep it simple.
That's incredibly simple. And then once we've assessed the property and the value, and we cut it in half, and that's the assessed property, and then you have the taxable. So basically, what I'm understanding you say is that if you have made in advancements to your house, let's say you added a deck on the back or something, and that also then lifts up how much your home is worth, your taxes won't necessarily go up because you made your home more comfortable or more valuable.
So I'm gonna just put a little legal thing in here, right? This thing that we use
Caveats.
called Matthew Gast, and it was actually a gentleman named Matthew Gast who filed a lawsuit against a local assessor. And what it determined was what should be in a home and how properties can be, those additions or subtractions should be looked at. So it's expected a house should be a house and have windows and doors and be painted
Windows and doors
and be taken care of, right?
It's a house, yeah.
Right. And it's also expected that you should take care of it. So just because you've done some updates doesn't mean that your taxes should go up. While at the same time, if you put a whole new addition onto the house that wasn't there before, then that can be picked up. While at the same time, if you had a garage that was torn down and is no longer there, then you should let the assessor know to make sure that you're not being taxed for a garage that's not there.
Oh Lord, I didn't know that.
Okay, she about to file her.
Oh Lord,
she about to file her form.
Appeal.
Yes.
Oh my goodness.
Yes.
Yeah,
So
just
while
learned
we're on
something.
it, this is your second time on the show since you've been the ombudsman. So that's a record already. So
Thank
let's
you.
clap it up for that.
I appreciate
We
it.
also need to take a second to say happy birthday.
Oh, thank you.
As well.
Thank you.
Yes, you shouted out your birthday first, but we have to make sure we say happy birthday
I
to you.
appreciate that.
Because we knew you were coming on the show. They brought you all this beautiful stuff and everything too.
We brought it for you guys.
Hey, look, we love
All
you
right.
know Damo Detroit's about free.
That's
so
right.
free cake and all that is great.
Yes.
But also, you did make a promise, and you've already came through on your promise that you were going to make sure that you provide more information for our communities, bringing him here. But a lot of us want to know, how will your office and his office work together?
I'm so glad you just gave us a great setup. So for one, thank you all again for having me on in their absence. Reverend Horace Sheffield, Gerald Smith, and all of the friends.
They on vacation, y'all, so don't bother them.
They somewhere being warm. But I appreciate it. But even in this cold weather, I want to shout out to all of our constituents out here that
Look
are
at
here.
all these people.
All these people that are here. So we don't lack programs in the city of Detroit. And what me and my staff have found, I have an assistant ombudsman in charge of education internally and externally. Alan Montgomery is here somewhere as well.
Raise your
You see,
hand.
there he is
Alan
right there.
Shout out to Alan.
So his role has been structured in a way that makes sure that we meet with every department head, understand the gaps and the challenges that they're having. Understand, first of all of the programs, because guess what? Lay citizens are too busy to know how to calculate the state assessment, what the state laws say, then how you look at your tax bill and see on the tax bill, it say my house is tax assessment. Is it the SES? SEV. It say 50,000, but then my house is really worth 100,000. I should at least be able to get that. So they don't know all those dynamics unless they had some direct experience. So what we're doing is we're meeting with every department head, and I have to see there's another department head that's going to come on our show, I think in March. Ebony Whitlow over here with the Tax and Treasury Department. Stand up, Ebony.
Hello, Miss Whitlow. Miss Ebony.
Hello. Welcome.
So what we're doing is building positive relationships. We're removing silos. We're not taking over nobody's department, but we're gleaning from them. What is it that you have that citizens can benefit from, that we can synthesize that information and give it to them in all kind of settings? You guys being one of them.
Okay.
Being on this podcast helps to share the information. You're on the podcast. You're on YouTube. You're on social media. So we got to go to where we're live audience. We got to go to where the people are, because just like I sat here and I bought a house in North Rosedale Park some years ago, and the garage had to be torn down. I haven't had one replaced because I didn't have the money to have it replaced yet. But I never had my taxes adjusted.
Go ahead,
accordingly.
girl.
So I might need to holler at y'all. But I want to make sure that citizens know that, we have some issues. We have some challenges, socioeconomic and otherwise, but the people perish for the lack of knowledge.
That's right.
And so that's why we're building the positive relationships. I know the orientation of oversight sometimes comes across as interrogating, or we're coming to write somebody up or research, and that's not what our office is about. We know what the statute says.
Yeah.
We know what the city's design of this role is. But as a former staffer to city council for almost 9 years or more, the late Councilman Clyde Cleavens and Alberta Tinsley Flabby, I worked on constituent complaints.
Yeah.
So I know all the departments interface and have issues, and we're coming to share, collaborate. We're going to do some staff exchange, because walk a mile in my shoes and tell me how hard it is to receive all those border review applications. And then we down on the other end of the office saying, well, hey, are y'all getting it done fast enough? You go down and sit with them and see how long it takes to listen to the constituents. So that's what we're doing first, building positive relationships so that we can call each other, we can talk to each other, we can meet with each other, and then we can work together to spread the information so everybody in this room has access to the border review process and everything else in the city.
And thank you. And a hand praise for all of that, because access is something that is incredibly valuable, especially at the servant level that you guys serve at. And we need to recognize that you are servant leaders.
Yes.
That is what you do here. And we might have a little bit of a special announcement about your presence with us in the wake up call a little closer to 10 o'clock.
Okay.
But for now, I want to know more about the homeowner's property exemption. Who can be exempt and how does that work?
Wow.
Because I want to be exempt. I want to pay.
So the homeowner's property exemption, or HOPE, provides an opportunity for a homeowner to see a reduction or elimination of their current year property taxes. But with the effort of city council and at the helm of our current mayor, while she was council president, we went to the state of Michigan and got the statute amended to now we can actually not just look at the current year, we can look at the previous year as well.
Amazing.
Oh.
So
Now say that again so they really hear you.
So we can not only look at the current year, we can look at the previous year as well.
Bail.
So here's what that means.
Refund?
If you go, well, I'm gonna get to that in just a second.
Okay.
If you go to the City of Detroit website at detroitmi.gov/hope, see how we're doing creating all these vanity URLs, make it really, really easy for you to
Right.
get.
Oh, yeah. One more time, slower.
Yep. detroitmi.gov/hope.
Hope.
You can actually go online and submit the application. You can download the application and complete it yourself and turn it in. Or you can find one of our more than 15 community partners that will assist you. We have partners throughout the city of Detroit that can actually assist you complete that application and get it turned in. The great part about this process is we want you to do it right away, because if we can get you processed through what's called the March border review, then if you are approved, that decision will be reflected on your tax bill.
So now's the time.
Now's the
So
time.
now is the time.
Now is the and
Are there any applications here?
So yes, there are some applications.
Oh,
here.
yes. Hold on. You can apply right here and get free breakfast. Did y'all hear that?
Yes. And some cake.
And some cake.
Listen, when Madam Ombudsman come, we happy.
I do have a real serious question about that. And is it retroactive?
So great question, and absolutely. So again, when I talk about the prior year, you can submit an application for 2025. And while if you qualify, what it simply means, if you have paid your taxes, and some of us, the taxes are included in our mortgage.
Yeah.
Then we are required to provide a refund if you are approved. So don't look at it as, well, I've already paid. Understand that the income limits are the income limits. They are set starting from federal poverty limits, and then by ordinance, we add on top of that. So we have a well-rounded process for determining what household income is. So don't be afraid to submit that application, get it in. Here's what we want to be able to do. And this goes back to what our Madam Ombudsman has talked about, providing information ahead of time.
Yeah. Yeah.
If we can provide the education now, she doesn't have to worry about getting complaints because they're getting the service.
Right.
Exactly.
Okay. So that's the goal here, is to make sure people have the right information, right access, and right opportunities.
Everybody wins when everybody wins.
Yeah, so you can come right now on the corner of Grand River, Wyoming, 12048. Wyoming, we're here till 10. And you can come get an application from Miss Linda, who's passing them out right now.
Oh, awesome.
Yes, so
Yeah.
she's over here passing them out. So I don't know if everybody else feels this energy, but us having a new ombudsman, we have some new blood on city council. We have a new city council president, a new city council pro temp. We have a new mayor. Like, we've entered a very new brand newness,
Yes.
but everybody who's new has experience.
Yes.
And they have experience not only with the city of Detroit, but real life experience. And they've gone through so many different things and done a lot of great previous work. And we see a lot of people moving up to become department heads who have done all this work and everything. And I think it really creates a kinetic and hopeful energy in the city of Detroit right now, because we're seeing people that are new in positions, but they're not only familiar faces, but trusted faces.
Yeah. Come
so
on.
I really, really do like that energy in the city right now. And it has made me feel good as not only someone who lives here, but y'all know me, I be doing everything, working hard, and it has made those partnerships a lot easier. So constantly having the ombudsman coming in, who's going to be coming in every month, and I will be invited to our Mackenzie Noble meetings to provide things and everything as well. It really definitely helps, just from not only the perspective, but look at how full this room is. You guys not only are getting the Rising Higher, we have me Podair here giving out the Rise Higher surveys. Everybody's getting these applications and everything. And I really want everybody to understand that Dabo Detroit and the legacy that Reverend Sheffield has set up here is why we can provide not only for just District 7, but for the entire city by working together. So I really want us to understand that, to make my segue, to go to DaboDetroitInc.com and donate.
Yes.
Okay, because all this stuff is
Absolutely.
not free. It's free to you, but it ain't free. We still got to keep the lights on.
Yeah.
So I need everybody to go to DaboDetroitInc.com and make sure that you guys are donating. Yes.
Excellent
It's a
plug there.
grassroots program. There's no set limit. Whatever you can. We are to share. We're a community, and that's
Absolutely.
That's the roots and the bottom of what's going on.
Mm-hmm.
So, I'm definitely going to. I'm going to donate.
Right.
Yes,
I'm going to donate. But the reason I'm going to donate, because I want to. See, I'm from the church, and when you hear something, a word that is true, you want to put a seed on it.
Mm-hmm.
And what you just said to me, what you just said to this audience about the energy that's going on, can't be truer.
Mm-hmm.
And I feel that energy as well. And I'm just excited. Like, people have been asking me, what are you doing for your birthday? What are you doing for your birthday? I wanted to do something that lift up that energy. Last night, we convened a meeting bridging the gap between Detroit and Lansing. And Willie just pointed out, Director Dunwell just pointed out exactly why that's important. You don't know, and you heard him say it, but I want to make it crystal clear. It took legislation in Lansing
to make that amendment.
Yeah. That legislation takes relationships, especially if we don't have the gavel. And sometimes, even if we do, we'll talk about that another day.
Okay.
But in order to get things done, we have to be now, from the leadership in the city, work in a bipartisan manner. I know that Director Dunwell don't mind me saying, my former colleague, Rep. Wendell Bird, he and Director Dunwell work a lot together on legislation that impact taxes. And so when people say, well, why is it so important to have those relationships in Lansing? I have several folks on both sides of the aisle that I can call and say, hey, listen,
this is what Detroit needs.
This is what Detroit needs. And if we don't do that in a manner that puts us first, then we're going to continue to operate how we have in years before. But now that we do have that new energy, we do have that new leadership, we do have a first woman mayor in the history of the city of Detroit.
Yes.
We're working together, and we all have a vested interest in ensuring that not only she succeeds, City Council succeeds, our department succeeds, and we do that by working in collaboration.
Putting people over partisanship. And actually, we have Ms. Jen. She wants to make a quick announcement about another aspect of our service here at Dabo.
So even though we're not on here as one of the Hope Counseling Network, we do our applications at Dabo at 16501 Wyoming.
Yes.
We were part of this connection, but we were pulled out. And we still do it because we did receive training from Will at one point. We was in those meetings, and they work really hard. And we just want to be able to help people down, copy papers and do all that great stuff. The Hope counselors are great networks, but if you can't make it to one of those, we are available at 16501 Wyoming Street. And we
Excellent.
encourage you
Yeah.
to just get the help, because a lot of people don't know about these property tax exemptions, and we want to make it possible for everyone to take part in it.
Yeah.
So I'm just going to jump in real quick. So reach out to me after this, because I need to understand why you're not a partner, and because Reverend Sheffield provides too much to our community. So
Period.
we're going to check on that, and whatever
Yes.
needs to happen, we're going to fix that.
Amen. And shout out, and we really, shout out to Jen, okay, y'all? She's the one who makes sure everybody gets their applications, can use the computers. We get all our food, everything. There's a body, and the blood is Jen when it comes to Davo. So she
Awesome.
needs to be shouted out.
All respect and to the whole team. I definitely want everybody. Definitely want everybody to know that you will have an opportunity if you have a question for either Dr. Donwell or Madam Ombudsman. Either one of them, you can get in line after we take our commercial break. We're going to take questions from the audience, so you can line up on this side. We'll take many as we possibly can.
What is that heat on?
You know what?
Girl,
it's all
let me tell
warmer
you
than
something.
outside.
We are not allowed to touch the heat, whether he's on vacation, whether he's here. We got a lot of bodies in here. But if you touch the heat, you better duck.
Yes.
We're not allowed to touch the heat.
One other announcement I want to make very poignant and something that Chantel alluded to a moment ago. Like, this is not a one-off thing. This is her second appearance here on the Wake Up Call.
And it's only January 31st.
And we are talking about a monthly Ombudsman Corner.
I'm excited.
Hello, come on.
I'm excited.
Come on. Calling in and being able to actually speak to one of your city representatives that has the plug on every single aspect of that city building. I saw it personally. Understand that's a big deal. And so
We appreciate you all.
Oh no, we appreciate you. You definitely bring the heat.
Thank you.
I got one more tidbit for you guys. We're on Grand River, and Grand River is the most direct route, literally, to Lansing.
How about
Amen.
that?
Oh, you're right about that. You could ride all the way without getting on the freeway.
Right.
We were supposed to go on break, but we're gonna talk about that. You gave me
Well,
something.
definitely. No. We
not
got a
on
little
break
segment.
yet.
Oh,
We not on
February
break.
20th. So last night, so let me just say this about relationship. I served in the House with the Democratic leader that now is in the Senate, Senator Winnie Brinks. When she heard about our event last night, she said, "Hey, you're hosting down there. I'll host up here in Lansing. So if Detroiters want to go to State of the State on February 25th, Senator Winnie Brinks, the Democratic leader, said, come on up to Lansing.
We need
That's
to
what
talk
we're
about
doing.
that so we can take a bus.
That's an organization thing.
I'll
Let's
take
do it.
y'all.
That's an organization.
We'll go.
So question for both of you. You keep using that word relationship.
Yes.
You are putting relationships first, and we all can get on the same page of understanding relationships garner productive conversations.
Yes.
Because trust is then built.
That's it.
And so with this new regime, this new way of doing things, how can you say, well, not how can you say, what would you say about the newer way in which you're already seeing the first 30 and 60 days versus what had the tone been previous to that?
What I can say about it is from the number of department heads that just even showed up last night. We put this event together last night with less than 3 weeks. I would say it was like 16, 17 days. And my chief of staff was like, how are we going to do this? I said, we got to do it. We got to do it. I sat down with Chairman Curtis Hertel from the Democratic Party and talked about the need to have better relationships in the city of Detroit. And so at first it was going to be former legislators, current legislators. But I was like, wait a minute. I've been meeting with all these department heads. I want them there. Then judges start calling and said, well, can we come too? I said, sure. Courts have been impacted by legislation. So you all can come too. So last night we was wall to wall people pulled together department heads from every department in the city of Detroit. Well, not every, but a myriad of departments. And the superintendent came out, stayed the whole night from DPS, school board members, judges, department, you name city council members, city council president, pro tem. Those relationships is what brings down the silos. And again, it's information sharing, making sure that we share that information and not just coming in pointing fingers. That's the environment. One of the directors told me last night, I think Valerie, yes, say it again.
Valerie Agoli.
Valerie Agoli, she was so excited last night. She said, oh my God. She said, I'm so grateful to have this kind of relationship with your office. She said, I've never experienced this before. That made me so happy on my birthday to hear that, because it tells me I'm walking in my purpose. And that made me happy and overjoyed.
Yes, so we do have a break to go to, but tell everybody how they can get into contact with your offices. We got 2 minutes, so both of you tell us how we can get into contact with your offices. And then they're staying here, y'all, so we do want you guys to ask your questions as well.
Line up right over here during the break on the side.
So we can ask questions.
So,
Okay.
so for me, 313-224-6000. 313-224-6000. I also have a newsletter, and I saw Tracy and I see Chief of Staff Linda again with a sign-in sheet. If you want to get our newsletter so that you can get some of this information that we'll be sharing, if it's okay.
Absolutely.
You can sign up on our sign-in sheet as well, and we will make sure that we add you. We know everybody is not on social. We know everybody may not use email, but there are a number of ways. You can also walk in. Because I know my mother used to go to the ombudsman's office a lot in downtown. Some of our seniors just like showing up to the building. So 2 Woodward Avenue, Suite 114. We're on one end of the hall, and I was about to say Reverend Willie Dunwell is on the other end of the hall. So room 130, my birthday.
Room 130. 30 seconds. How can we get a hold with a board of assessment?
And well, we're with the Board of Review, and we're down the hall in room 105.
Oh, 105. Okay.
Yep, and 313-628-0722. 313-628-0722.
Okay, you learned this time.
Email boardofreview@detroitmi.gov. boardofreview@detroitmi.gov.
All right, we're going to take another quick break.
You got a radio voice.
Yes, we're going to take another quick break. We'll be right back with more of the Wake Up Call and your
You've
questions.
been listening to
Here's the wake up call with Reverend Horace Sheffield. Rise up, wake up, let the truth be told. The wake up call.
Super Bowl champion. I get my Saturday morning wake up call from Reverend Horace Sheffield, my man.
This is Groveland, Kansas, and I get my wake-up call from Reverend Horace Sheffield every Saturday morning, 8 a.m. to 10 a.m. on 101.5 FM or 1500 a.m. The wake-up call with the Reverend Horace Sheffield.
Yo, what's up, guys? It's your girl, Randy Rosario, comedian and TV host. I get my Saturday wake-up call with my guy, Reverend Horace Sheffield. Think about it. Good day.
I'm Sheriff Raphael Washington, Wayne County, and I get my Saturday morning wake up every Saturday morning from Reverend Horace Sheffield, and you should too.
Every Saturday morning, 8 a.m. to 10 a.m. on 101.5 FM or 1500 a.m. The wake-up call with the Reverend Horace Sheffield.
Hello, everybody. This is your girl, Erica Alexander, and every Saturday morning, I get my wake-up call with Reverend Sheffield. Make sure you go on and get some of that. All right? What is that? Is that someone called? Is it Saturday?
Every Saturday morning, 8 a.m. to 10 a.m. on 101.5 FM or 1500 a.m. The wake-up call with the Reverend Horace Sheffield.
Hey, what's up, y'all? It's your man Mike Epps, and I get my Saturday morning wake-up call from Reverend Sheffield. Make sure you get yours.
I'm Hester Wheeler, and I get my Saturday morning wake-up call from Reverend Horace Sheffield.
Every Saturday morning, 8 a.m. to 10 a.m. on 101.5 FM or 1500 a.m. The wake-up call with the Reverend Horace Sheffield.
This is Super Bowl champion Lomas Brown, and I get my Saturday morning wake-up call from Reverend Horace Sheffield, my man.
This is Groveland, Kansas, and I get my wake-up call from Reverend Horace Sheffield every Saturday morning, 8 a.m. to 10 a.m. on 101.5 FM or 1500 a.m. The Wake-Up Call with the Reverend Horace Sheffield.
You've been listening to
Here's the wake-up call with Reverend Horace Sheffield. Rise up, wake up, let the truth be told. The wake-up call.
Yes, good morning, good morning. We are continuing our segment with our ombudsman and our director of the Board of Reviews.
Yes.
So we have audience questions now. And remember, Sabrina Athena already let us know that every month she will be here to talk with us and answer questions, which will bridge a huge gap. And I'm so excited to see the improvements that we will not only feel in our local neighborhood, but across the city with the results of that. So we have our first audience question. Make sure when you guys are asking your questions that you tell us your name, because that's super important. Tell us your name and give us your question.
Hi, my name is Jacqueline Cook.
Hi, Ms. Cook.
Hi, how are you guys doing? My question is to the director of the Board of Review, Mr. Willie. It's my pleasure to lay eyes on you. I've been trying to get in contact with you for a few years now. And just to be a part of the city, I have a nonprofit organization, Micah Nove nonprofit organization on Finkel, 15920 Finkel. I attained the property in 2018. And with this property, I did my due diligence of putting a $40,000 roof with the help of volunteers and fixing this property. I didn't put over $150,000 in it. I'm a licensed with a licensed kitchen, and I feed the community 1,200 people. I'm also partnered with DHC, where I feed 12 of their housing communities every Friday. And what took place, I was supposed to be, in 2024, was supposed to be tax exempt on this property. 2023, I paid $10,000 in back property taxes. 2024, I paid $2,700 in back property taxes on the building. 2025, you guys foreclosed it and sold my property, and I didn't know it was sold. It also was in somebody else's name when it was sold. I have obtained a lawyer to set aside a motion. I was told when I went to the state, because I was devastated when the gentleman approached me. I was devastated. I didn't know what to do. I was out there passing out food on that Friday, the 31st of October. When he approached me, I kept my composure. I raced downtown that Monday only to talk to someone and tell me, if you go across the street to the city building, they give us an excuse that you was tax exempt in 2024. Then we'll help you get the property reversed. I then went to the city. I done everything, took the steps. They didn't give me a tax exempt for 2025. Why wasn't I tax exempt with 2024 when I was told to go take all my papers? And I took the same papers that got me tax exempt for 2025 and 2024. Now I'm still there at the property because we're going back and forth. My first day was in court. The gentleman was trying to evict me from the property last week, but to God be the glory, I'm still there. The judge is waiting on the decision.
Well, amen.
And I'm still passing the food out, and I'm holding myself together not to be ashamed and let down the community. I'm on live Facebook, and I have over 30,000 people that view me every week to watch me, but I do it with a smile. They don't even know that the building is not even mine no more. And I'm so happy to see you. And it just done something for me to come to be before you, because I've been trying to connect with you. I had a house on 13265 Steel Street that I'm in court with you guys now. It was called the Escape House, where I let women stay there for free and family who didn't have nowhere to go. You guys still got me in court. You told me you sold it for $35,000. I came and tried to pay the taxes on it. Y'all wouldn't accept my money. It's in court. And then the killing part about it, it did not sell. I was so happy to be downtown. You guys just holding my property up, and the people, all my family, and those same women is still living over in the property.
So quick question. We want to know exactly how can they help you today?
How can they reverse this sale and help me get my property, because it wasn't nothing but $4,000 in property taxes that if I had to pay, but I was under pressure and I didn't because it was supposed to be tax exempt in 2024.
And I'm sure your situation is unfortunately not unique. What would you have to
so
comfort that situation?
So thank you first of all for coming out, and I know
Yes.
Director Donwell will address it, but this is a perfect example of when you have a matter like this that you may not have gotten the outcome, and I'm not saying you did, you may not have interfaced with the right offices and departments and or taxes. Sometimes people get the city tax, paying the city taxes or arrearages, as Ms. Whitelow can point to, and Director Dunwell, with what's going on over at the county. Once they're in arrearage, they now go over to like 400 Monroe. And so that's something that I want both of our directors to help clarify as well in the future, so our citizens don't fall into this misunderstanding that it is the city that is taking the property, when it's really the state law that empowers the county to take the property if you are so many years behind. But this is an issue that should have come to the ombudsman office. So I just got there, but did you ever contact the ombudsman office for this matter?
Nobody answers the phone down there. I didn't contact all you guys. I leave messages. I didn't did it for Mary Waters, everybody. The only person I even had a discussion with Divos too. They were trying to see what they can do to help me.
I don't want to cut you off, but I just want to understand when, because
recently I've been looking for Mr. Willie for the last 2
No,
years.
look, can we go back? You said 2 years. Just give me a second. Walk with me. I took the job in October the 6th. Have you contacted the ombudsman office since October the 6th?
I contacted you last week when you was looking good at the mayor inauguration. Yeah.
You contacted me at the inauguration?
Afterwards, I sent you on the live. I even went through Messenger. I was tracking you down. I even watched you through
period.
her
I know that's
Facebook
right.
Also,
Well,
I've been watching all.
But wait, I'm glad you did, and that's why I use social media. But can I ask you one more thing, sis?
Yes.
Did you call us at the office?
The office and left messages.
Okay, so we're gonna make sure Linda, my chief of staff, is back there.
Yep.
We have been let me tell you something what we've done, because we don't play about that. We have called the IT department, and she has called and asked them for the list of incoming phone calls, so that if staff is not answering the phone and you have called our office, we have a way to look that up.
Period.
So that's why I'm coming to the community. So I'm glad you're here. But social media, and for some of you others who reach out to me on social media, if we're not friends, I find it months later it's not coming to me. It's like in
requests.
It's in requests. And so I just learned that you find people requesting to talk to you, but because we're not friends necessarily on Facebook, I don't necessarily get your message. But in our office, if you call my office since October the 6th and they have not returned your call, we have problems.
Period.
And we will address
her up
it.
on that. Take her up on that, Dr. Donwell.
And so I also want to, you said multiple things, right? And if you reached out to me, I apologize if I have not gotten back to you. But it seems like when you were reaching out, you weren't actually reaching out to me. You were reaching out to the assessor's office. And let me be clear on a couple of points here. Number one, the Board of Review does not process exemptions for nonprofits. It's done through the Office of the Assessor. And as it relates to the foreclosure, and this again, we have to understand the processes themselves. Again, the county treasurer is required to deal with the foreclosure process. The exemption being applied for 24 or 25 would not have prevented a foreclosure. Whatever that event that occurred would have had to have been for 22 or prior years. Again, this is based upon the way the state law is written.
Right.
Again, MCL 211-28-78.
Oh, you know everything.
So
that brain.
I want to be.
So, not to cut you off, the Housing Coalition,
Yes.
they had contacted Eric Sabri. Eric Sabri told them that he couldn't do nothing. It was out of his hand. You have to go to Willie Downley. So yeah, I know exactly.
So the best part
the
about all of
steps.
this is that we are rebuilding relationships, trust, and
Yeah.
connection, and
Yeah.
so we are going to
I
continue
need
to do
help.
that.
And
Well, I have several staff people here, and Christopher's here,
came to the right
Tracy's
place.
here, Alan's here. So we want your information today. Right, that's what we're doing. Yes.
Let's connect you with the next with them, and this is exactly what we need right here.
Yes, that's how we fix
appreciate you.
problems.
We got time for one more quick question.
And I'm gonna say this real quickly. Remember earlier when I said that he puts us in the right place at the right time?
Amen.
This
Let
is
him
a
use
perfect example because now she's able to get to her problem
Yes.
immediately. So
Actually, we don't have time for that second question. I'm so sorry, Ed. Thank you. Amen. I'm so sorry. We don't have time for that second question. We do have one quick special announcement to make. It is Madam Ombudsman's birthday. And so all together now, I'd like for the roses to come forth. Madam with the roses. We need the roses. We need the balloons. And please don't take this as a discouragement. We are definitely, she's going to be here. She can answer your questions.
I'll stay and answer your questions after, because we want to make sure. That's why I brought my staff here.
Yes.
So we can, but we gotta, the people perish for a lack of knowledge. I want to make sure that people know whether they should be talking to Director Whitlow, whether they should be talking to Director Dunwell, or whether they should be talking to Treasurer Eric Sabri in a whole nother entity. That's important.
Or Madam Ombudsman, Alvin Horn.
That's right. Right.
All
In
right.
the assessor's office.
We got 1 minute. Everybody's gonna be able to talk. Bring the roses up.
The roses.
And we're gonna count to 3, and we're all gonna yell happy birthday. 1, 2, 3. Happy birthday. Yes. And we know Madam Ombudsman will be back next month. You are listening to the Wake Up Call right here on Grand River in Wyoming. And remember, you get more when you come in person. So make sure that you come here at 12048 Grand River. We will be back.
And remember
It's
also
9:45.
Let me get one on my phone.
to help your neighbors during these trying times. Check on your family members because it's cold outside. You know, some of us need help but don't want to ask for help because we feel that you okay, so I'll make it.
Well,
No, that's no
amen.
good.
We going straight to commercial. Amen. Thank you so much.
The wake up call with Reverend Horace Sheffield. Rise up, wake up, let the truth be told. The wake up call. Hey, 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 it's the wake up call with Reverend Horace Sheffield.
Super Bowl champion Lomas Brown, and I get my Saturday morning wake-up call from Reverend Horace Sheffield, my man.
This is Grover Kings, and I get my wake-up call from Reverend Horace Sheffield every Saturday morning, 8 a.m. to 10 a.m. on 101.5 FM or 1500 a.m. The wake-up call with the Reverend Horace Sheffield.
Yo, what's up, guys? It's your girl, Randy Rosario, comedian and TV host. I get my Saturday wake-up call with my guy, Reverend Horace Sheffield. Think about it. Good day.
I'm Sheriff Raphael Washington, Wayne County, and I get my Saturday morning wake up every Saturday morning from Reverend Horace Sheffield, and you should too.
Every Saturday morning, 8 a.m. to 10 a.m. on 101.5 FM or 1500 a.m. The wake-up call with the Reverend Horace Sheffield.
You've been listening to
Hey, 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 here's the wake up call with Reverend Horace Sheffield. Rise up, wake up, let the truth be told. The wake up call. Hey, 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 it's the wake up call with Reverend Horace Sheffield.
All right. right, we are back. We are back with our final segment of the Wake Up Call for this week. It's been a dynamic show.
A great show.
Okay, Madam Ombudsman's birthday brought in a whole new vibe of delicious, incredible, wonderful relationship building in the community. So thanks for that. And now we have Mr. Arthur Harrington. He's a candidate for the Michigan State Representative District 9. How you doing, Mr. Harrington?
I'm doing absolutely amazing. Good morning.
Good morning. Good morning. So let's get right into it. Why are you seeking the office of State Representative for District 9?
Well, first of all, thank you so much for the opportunity to be here this morning. Thank you to our amazing hosts. Thank you to this live audience, and thank you for my staff members who came this morning. My name is Arthur Harrington. I'm your candidate for State Representative in Michigan's 9th House District. I'm a Detroit native, born and raised in the city of Detroit. I'm a Cass Tech graduate. Shout out to Cass Tech.
They can't get away from saying Cass.
Yeah, Hampton University, received my bachelor's degree from an HBCU. Shout out to our HBCUs. And I'm currently finishing up law school at Wayne State University Law School, which is currently housed in our district. The reason why I'm running for state representative is simply this: to deliver results. The people are sick and tired of being told things and not having efficient and tangible kitchen table issues actually being delivered to them. And so that's what we're delivered on, focused on, because, the people deserve more.
Yeah, can you tell everybody where District 9 is?
Yes, thank you, Chantel. So District 9 is downtown, midtown, east side communities. East side as far as Alta Road, south as far as Belle Isle and the Detroit River, north as far as Grand Boulevard, and east as far as I-96. Yeah, west as far as I-96 east. So we have 93,000 constituents strong.
Go ahead, Ed.
Well, you know what? I do have some property in your district.
Well, maybe we can make that work, make some work out there.
No, that's where I keep my boat, over there by the fishbone. What you call it? Sinbads and whatnot. I'm not sure the Sinbad.
Yeah, okay, Mr. Boater.
Yeah, so
okay.
District 9
no, but all kidding aside, what are your strategies on public safety and crime prevention in your community?
I'm so glad you asked that. So that's one of my main priorities. Public safety is a main priority, especially in our district, because if one person's not safe, nobody's safe. I'll say that again. If one person isn't safe, nobody's safe. We know that in recent history, the crime rates in the city of Detroit have been decreasing. And we know that they're going to continue to decrease with our new mayoral leadership and our new mayor, Horace Sheffield. And I'm going to assist her on a state level in bringing down the crime rates, especially on the farther east side of our district. Crime is an issue that we have to tackle. There's no way that families should not feel safe walking down the street, walking their children down the street, parents being able to take their children to the bus stop in the morning. It's ridiculous. And under my leadership, I'm going to do my best to support legislation that's going to bring down crime in the city and in this district.
Interestingly enough, you mentioned, and yeah, that's worth a hand praise. We all like to feel safer at home. Absolutely. What are some of the key crimes that you feel are needed to come down? Like, what's going on over there? What should we know?
Yeah, so one of the things that we're focused on is really making sure that we have walkable neighborhoods. We know that it's not even always a crime issue, but it's sometimes an infrastructure issue as well, with dilapidated houses, blighted houses. I just finished a mayoral fellowship in the Department of Appeals and Hearings where we worked with Mayor Duggan on reducing blight issues within the city of Detroit. With blight, there's so many things that could happen, from rodents, Lord forbid, drugs, and homelessness with these blighted houses. And so not only is it an eyesore, but it's also a health risk and a quality of life issue that is something that many people in our district may be facing, especially on the further east side, outside of the downtown and the midtown area. And so that's something that we can tackle as well.
Excellent. Yeah. So how are you going to work in collaboration with organizations like ours, like DABO, and work with the actual leadership that they have outside of Reverend Sheffield?
I love that. I'm all about collaboration. I'm all about partnership. I'm all about getting the job done and being results oriented. And I know that organizations like DABO and the leadership of this organization, and amongst others within the city of Detroit and in our district, we all have the same common goal, all shared interests of making progress for the people and making progress for the community. So I am always open to connecting with people in our district, and even within the entire city of Detroit, whether it be DABO or any other organization, for us to figure out ways on how we can strategize and making the lives of people within this district better.
Excellent. Ed, what you got?
Well, as far as helping the community that you serve, what are your possible, I'm going to say possible because you're not in office yet, even though
We claim it in Jesus' name.
Well, that's what I'm getting to.
Yeah.
As far as education and public transportation
Yes.
in your community,
Education, public
what can you have an idea of what direction you want to go in, or a plan about to make that come to reality?
Yeah, so starting with education, number one, I'm a first generation college student. You know, my mom didn't graduate from college. My dad didn't graduate from high school. So this hits home for me. This is very, very personal. I'm a first generation law student as well. So it's like I'm really paving the way, but I wasn't able to do it by myself. It took mentorship. And so I'm going to get into the policy aspect of it. But one thing I want to say is we need to increase mentorship programs for students within. Yeah, we want to increase mentorship programs for students within our district and within the city. Mentorship is extremely important. Some people took me under their wing, and I wouldn't be able where I am today if it wasn't for mentorship. But we need to fully fund our schools. There is no reason why teachers should have to pay an abhorrent amount of money to self-fund their classrooms. Even going to some of our public schools, there were sometimes we had students sitting on the radiators because the classes were so packed. We need to decrease the class sizes, and we need to support legislation to fully fund our schools. And as a state representative for Michigan's 9th House District, I will support appropriating funds to our local school districts. On the point of transit, I just got a car less than a year ago, right? I just got not my first car, but I got a car less than a year ago. So I know the struggles of public transportation when the bus is late. That affects people's economic mobility. That affects economic vitality. That affects people's economic ability to be able to make money. And it's not even always the fault of the person, but sometimes it's the fault of the city and the transportation. So I'm not going to Lansing to rewrite the routes, but I am going to make sure that we are appropriating more funds into DDOT. And I'm looking forward to that collaboration because people deserve quality transportation.
One thing I learned working as a transportation consultant proposal manager is that if you can't get to work, you can't go to work.
Yeah, and you can't make money.
So if the jobs are on the better side of town, and I can't get there from my district or my space safely,
right?
Because not only are we now getting up before the sun and going home after it's down,
right?
You know, in these certain areas, that crime reduction, all of that works together to foster a better economic situation in any particular district. So that's what I'm understanding that you're really looking for. That's your platform here.
That's my platform.
Okay, awesome.
And that's important. And as you said, I mean, it's an extremely important issue. And thank you for your service. Even work for transportation, like, you know, that's a big issue. We also want to make sure that we are tackling the mental illness issues within our community. There are resources for folks like I said, I rode the bus every day I work in Detroit City Council currently. So I rode the bus every day to KMAC. I've seen people with mental illnesses on our transportation. They need help. They need resources. They need assistance, not to just walk over them or treat them like trash, but they need the resources because they deserve representation as well. And so we want to make sure that we can figure out ways to strategize to make sure that we are also decreasing and mitigating that problem as well.
Absolutely. So no shade, no tea. The last young Black man who was a state rep did not end his legacy in that house very well, right?
Understandable.
So that might be something that people might be doubting in their minds. But how are you combating that narrative with your own experience while you're on your race? And if someone asks you that, like, how are you going to answer that and be like, you know, you're not that you're not him, but some people, you know, it left a bad taste in their mouth thinking of young leadership, but we know young leadership is ultra important. How are you going to combat those questions?
Well, I think the main thing is to really just show it through my work. Show what I've been doing, really connecting with the people, you know, having them get to know me more, creating that direct line of communication, but also not even just talking, but showing them through my actions. We've been going to community meetings. We've been going to the churches. We've been touching the people exactly where they are. So once they get to know me and they can actually feel my genuineness for this office and my heart and my passion, they'll quickly begin to understand
you're
that
gonna make the promise and keep the promise.
Yeah, and I'm gonna make it the promise and keep the promise, but I'll also say I will never make promises that I cannot keep.
Amen.
I'll never make promises that I can't keep.
I'm gonna hit you on a personal one.
Let's get it.
You went to HBCU,
Yes,
right?
I did.
Okay.
Cass Tech. They say Cass Tech at HBCU.
That right there is already established. Are you part of the Divine Nine?
I'm a member of Kappa Alpha Psi Fraternity Incorporated.
Oh, yep. Yeah. See, okay. See, he was trying to get there.
That's right. Kappa are men of distinction. But when I talk to young people about fraternal organizations, there are two things that really apply. One, they help you to learn your self-worth.
Yes.
Two, you make contacts that you can use the rest of your life.
You're right.
Yep.
All right.
Yep.
So I behoove anyone that sends their child to a university or especially a HBCU.
Behoove.
That's a good one.
To have them participate, you know, that's still their choice, but encourage them to participate in whatever fraternal or sorority that they can, because those are lifelong connections that you will meet that are nation and sometimes worldwide.
And to add to that, even if it's something that you don't necessarily want to connect to in an organizational fashion, you can help all kind of ways.
Well,
do
Amen.
do know that there's no
Mhm.
no limit to the kind of person you need to be or want. You just need to have a heart to
Right.
serve. So one last question before we get off the air,
Yes.
Mr. Arrington. So I must give super props to my girl Chantel, Director of Internal Communications for Dabo. There are other organizations within the within the diaspora. What other organizations, you know, how are you bringing this thing together, and how can the people of District 9 support your candidacy?
Yes. If there are any organizations that would like to partner and collaborate with us, please do not hesitate to follow us on Instagram at Harrington for Michigan. Also visit www.harringtonforstaterep.com. I am open to all forms of communication and collaboration and partnership, because I can't do this by myself, y'all. I cannot do this alone. Even when we do win this election, in Jesus' name, I'm going to need your support to not only hold me accountable, but to work with me. This is a team effort. This is a collaborative effort. So even if there are organizations that I cannot name at this time, please send them my way so our team can work with them and collaborate with them in the future.
Absolutely. All liaisons on deck.
Yes.
Amen. That's right. So we have had a wonderful show. We've talked about mental health. We've talked about domestic violence, and also how a woman with a great story had made it out the fire and, you know, made up to her community some of the things that she's done. We've had the ombudsman here. We've also had the director of the what department of the
when I tell you that
the property assessment board of review, the director of the board of review. We also have had a candidate for District 9. And when I tell you that there is no other place in the city of Detroit where you can wake up, get a free breakfast, fellowship with people, and have these types of conversations and receive this information, it is the wake up call with my girl Sabrina Athena, my boy Ed Collins, and of course your girl, the diplomacy doll, Chantel Watkins. So we appreciate every single person who has been here today, and we will see y'all next Saturday.
Thank you.
You've been listening to
Hey, 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 here's the wake up call with Reverend Horace Sheffield. Rise up, wake up, let the truth be told. The wake up call.